Good day, guys. This is the 3000 GP 3000 that I was working on, the one that had the blown up front end. There it is there. And I'm going to show you something really funny. If you remember in the last video, I said that when I put it into sensitive, that it didn't function properly because I was using a mono coil, of course. And it should have worked. It should have worked fine. And I had a look at the switch connections, which is here. And if you have a look at that switch, get in there and get a bit closer. It is those blue wires on top. Then it's got there's a neutral coloured wire in the middle somewhere. I can't see, it's buried in there. And at the bottom there's a pink wire. I don't even know if I can see it like this, but anyway, it's got the heat shrink around it. There it is, a little bit of pink sticking out, and there's a whitish coloured wire. Basically, on that switch, which is that one there, it's configured correctly. And if you have a look at that, it's sensitive, normal, and salt. So I had a look at that and I thought maybe they've wired it up wrong on the switch, but it checks out perfectly fine. But lo and behold, there's me. I had to actually nut this out. Because if you look at these cables here, right, they got white paint all over them. So at first glance, you don't really pay much attention. They are the lines that address the Eprom sitting there, the thing with GP3V3.4 on it. That's just a little Eprom, and that has your pulses for your transmit, receive timings in that, and you can do all sorts of interesting things. You can actually read the code out of that and have a look at it and modify it if you want to. There's things you can do on these GPs. Going back, even the SD 2200, I think I have modified the code in that long time ago. Anyway, let's have a look here. I'll show you something. And this is from the factory. Okay, so this has had this detector had an issue in it from day one, and no one's picked up on it. I don't know how often they use this detector, but it's pretty old. If we go here, and we have this neutral coloured wire, it actually is that colour there, where I've got these things grabbing it. That's it. That's the colour. Okay. Here, where the paint just cracked off there, and if you have a look closely, I'll get right in. You should be able to see this. Hang on, I don't want it to go out of focus. They are factory installed wires. You can see that. They've still got a little bit of white paint on them. They haven't been touched. I haven't touched them. So they are factory installed. You see this blue one here? The blue one is meant to be there. And this pink one is meant to be where the blue one is. So the switch is wired correctly, except they've wired the wires to the board in the wrong position. So that's just enough to confuse the hell out of me. I've had a lot of this stuff lately, these silly faults. The faults that take all your time to find it. Like the display on that 4000, when the battery gave its low voltage chime, the display dropped out. And people tell me that's normal. I'm going, what? That's normal? It's crazy. Anyway, I've never noticed it before. I've never used a 4000 or worked on one and had a flat battery or a very low battery connected to it. I've always had my batteries fully charged. And thus, It's wiggling around a bit because I'm zoomed in a little bit. But yeah, that's that. Those wires are around the wrong way. So when I'm flicking the switch into sensitive, I'm flicking it into salt mode. Anyway, I actually didn't look at the wires to find that out. I poked around. So hang on, I'll zoom this back out so it doesn't look horrible. But I'll show you here. I've drawn out the address lines for that detector, and the way it works, I've drawn a switch in there. The center position of that switch is 5 volts positive, and depends which switch position it goes to. You flick it onto the where it says pink, and that's sensitive. It's address A10 pin 21, and also it goes off to the H8 processor via those 10k resistor or A10k resistor, which is that one there. And when you flick it into salt mode, the 5 volts goes here. It goes off to the processor, tells the processor, do whatever you want. I'm now in these modes. It basically tells this to change its timing function. So the output from this into the RAM has those timing functions. These EEPROMs are slow as anything. The other thing too, there's 2 resistors there that go to ground. They're 100k, and they actually go where the arrows go. They actually go onto the wires there and there. They're just pull downs, so they're holding those off until you put 5 volts on. 5 volts will easily override 100,000 ohms to ground, and it'll pull up on the EEPROM on these address lines A10 or A11 which one you want to extract the data. So that's how that works. That's pretty simple. I thought I'd just do it on the whiteboard for fun. I actually bought some whiteboard markers. I haven't had any for a while, so I thought I'd just give them a run. So I thought that was a easy thing to do. And somewhere here I have a photograph, because sometimes I do work and I take photographs of the detectors, and I'll just move this. I don't want to knock over that isopropyl there. Hang on a sec. I've got a video processing going up at the moment. That's the last one about what happened. Where is it? It must be in there. Oopsie. I don't want to show a lot of this. How do I do this? I don't want that there. I want. Hang on a second, peoples. Yeah, okay. I can drag that there. I'll leave that there. It's got all the part numbers and things, and I don't want to go stick all that over the internet. But if you can see, here's a picture, and you can see there's the 27C256. And if you see very carefully on the wires there, see the blue one is in the middle. You can see that the white color one is on the right hand side, the blue one is in the middle, and it's hard to tell, but the pink one is on the far left. And if we go over to that board, like I said, I'll just zoom out a bit, spin around, and you have a look here, and the blue one is on the far left and the pink one is in the middle. So they are arse about, putting it politely. So that was a fault I was trying to chase. This is what gets me. You have these factory faults. That's been in there since it was manufactured. It's been sitting there for, I don't know, over 20 years. And the detector's been used. And I tell you what, they've never used sensitive mode on this detector. So that's quite amusing, say the least. But yeah, okay. I just thought I'd just tell you how it ended up. Oh, so apart from that, the detector now works perfectly well. It's all functioning as such. Yeah, I did stick it on up here on a double D coil, which I'll just turn it on for the fun of it. There, oh, it was already on. Left my amplifier on as per usual. Okay, let's put this into cancel mode, and I won't put in a salt. So there's this detector at the moment. She's on, and let's get a test target on a stick. So it all works. So Frank, there's your detector. I think it belongs to a guy called Frank anyway. David dropped it off and said he needed it fixed ASAP. So yeah, that's very interesting. But if you got one of these old detectors, you can play around with the code in those EPROMs. You can read it out. Actually, I think somewhere around here, I'll move this very slowly. I'll zoom out when I move it so no one gets car sick. Chari's been busy building up amplifiers, preamplifiers, those compression expansion ones I developed a few years ago. So yeah, they keep going out the door. They're quite in demand. Those little booster amplifiers. Okay, up here. It's got to be. Oh dear me, there's not much room in here. I mean, you look down there, there's just tons of stuff everywhere. So, where are we? Oh, here we are. Here we are. Oh, I haven't touched this for a while. But in this is when we used to play around changing the code in these things. That's a little. I did zoom out, didn't I? So I'll zoom back in. Whoopsie. I don't want to touch the. I think that's 1.1. That'll do. 1.1 zoom. You get these little adapters. I've got a programmer. It's out in the garage gathering dust actually, and you put your little prom in there, EEPROM, and away you go. Like they're just they're 27C256s. I've got these ones. Some of these are one-time programmable, and some of them are not. Some of them can be multiple programmed, and also there's some sockets I've got too, because I know that the socket one there with something in it. It's probably being programmed. Is it? No. It's ran the wrong way. That's all. Yeah, I have got some of these that are programmed, but yeah, that's what they are. There you are. So yeah, I think that these might be the reprogrammable ones. They're like flash memory, flash type devices. Yeah, here's some in a tube. Yeah. Oh, okay. These are OTP, one time programmable. Okay, that's their number there. If you can see it. So if you wanted to flash one, you could do it and just leave it on one of those. But there's some here which are not one-time programmable. They're multi-time programmable. Might be these ones here. I think that's the same one that fell out there. But yeah, you can reprogram and change all your pulse timings. I've got ones with Windows too, which are UV erasable. Yeah, but yeah, you can play around with those, and yeah, that one's empty. But yeah, we were actually in the early days. I was actually redoing the pulse length, pulse width, and pulse timings on what was it? I think it was SD2200 detector. We're just doing it for fun, just seeing what we could do, and on some on one of the detectors, I think I actually put SD2000 four short and one long pulse timing into a GP Extreme, and just seeing if there was any advantage in doing that. And it actually worked the same as running three pulses or four. It didn't make any difference. So I thought, something would be different, something change in detection depth or sensitivity. I couldn't measure anything, so that was that. But yeah, so now I've got that detector's fixed. I just got to change those wires around and be able to run sensitive mode. Yeah, but how's that, eh? Another one of these phantom faults that's not really a problem. I could have really gone crazy digging in there trying to find out what was slowing down somewhere in the circuitry, slowing down the pulse responses or timing responses, any sort of delay that would have been, you know, stopping that sensitive mode from working, when it turned out it wasn't anything at all. It's just wired wrong. So that's that. I found, no, I'm not going to say, but yeah, you can see it. Seeing's believing. I haven't touched it. Like, even if I get this, I'll if I can get the power out of it. Oh my God, you need two hands. I can't pull the power connector out. Now I can. So I've got the power connector out. I'll get this. I'll close this up like so. Gently pick it up by its wires, and if you can see here, that's the original bottom of it where those connections are. These these are where are we? There we go. They're the 100k resistors. You can actually put 5 volts on, I think, the second one up, and you can give it an extra timing if you wanted to. It's it was called sensitive 2. We called it sensitive 2. But all you need to do is address the not the ground side, but the high side with 5 volts. Have it on an oscilloscope, and you'll see the timing change into another more sensitive mode. So that did have a where those where those resistors are, somewhere around there, at a point way back in time. I think there was a miniature switch assembly, and with little tiny switches, you can use a ballpoint pen to change. And that's why we discovered that, because we saw switches and we went, oh, let's switch this. And if you had it in wrong sequences, it wouldn't work at all. And then we set it a particular way and flicked the switch, and it came up with another timing mode. So there is another timing mode stashed away inside these detectors with the Eprom. I think it's on all of them. I think it's the Extreme, the 3500, 3000, all have that same functionality with that. Yeah, so it's all good. I don't think there's anything I left out. You can see I've changed that BC857 and the BAV99 and the two SK1334s. They're done, and that now works. I'll zoom back out carefully. But yeah, so I don't know if that helps you guys. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. You look at the wiring on this thing, and you can see why they went to using copper traces in the mylar strips. I mean, God, that you wouldn't believe how much time that would take wiring all that up, stripping the wires the right length, and tinning them up, soldering them on, putting on heat shrink. It takes a hell of a lot of time. It really does. It's a big time chewer. So that's that detector. I just had a milkshake and I feel very claggy over it, as you can tell. Yeah. Anyway, a bit of a tour of the room. Yeah. It's got to watch. Sometimes I've got to watch what I actually point the camera at. As you can see here, I've got rid of all those GPXs and things that needed modifications. I finally got through them. I don't think I got any more. Oh, yes, I have. There's one under the bench. Damn, I have to get onto that. So we got through most of them. I got some sevens I got to do, but I don't leave sevens stashed in my room laying around. I actually lock them away just in case that You know, we get a visitor, an unwelcome visitor, and they come and think they're going to get a 37000, but if they do it here, you're probably going to grab a broken detector. It won't work, or something's in bits that is half put together. So that would be a real drama if you did that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm on top of it. I'm getting on top of all the workload. Thank God for that. It's been driving me crazy. But yeah, so poor Chari's been doing all those, building those up. He's got more to do as well. I think Dave's got a decent size order. He's got to send them off somewhere. Yeah. So that's that. I'm just waffling at the moment, so I want to continue waffling. Catch us later, guys.